Jey Uso attacked backstage.
Big E never returning.
A big player is returning.
And Stone Cold mentioned, but we're not teasing a return.
Hello, welcome to Wrestle MSX. I'm Michael.
I'm Sally.
And CM Punk kicked us off by exclaiming he knew what the future held, then stood on the middle rope and pointed at nothing. There are multiple roads you can take to get there. There are different ways you can finish your story. The Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber could be the fork in the road. The good news is that I've got a favour or two in my pocket to call upon. Of course, he's talking about WrestleMania. Punk was then interrupted by a resplendent looking Seth Rollins in double brown. Seth said he should have knocked Punk out the same day he came back to WWE, and it was time to rectify his mistakes after seeing him triumphantly standing next to Roman Reigns after his War Games victory. Seth then removed his jacket, telling Punk there's nothing in our way but air, and tonight's the night I knock CM Punk on his ass. Go on, Seth. Punk said he'd done with all the personal stuff, and that 6 months ago Seth was champ and he had something he wanted. Now he has nothing. Punk said he doesn't think about Rollins at all and told him to stay out of his business. Seth said, "You don't listen," then pushed Punk to the mat and the two started to brawl. Jey Uso and Sami Zayn came running out, splitting them apart, which makes a change to backstages. Punk headed up the ramp but then headed back towards the ring. Adam Pearce and a few from the back were out at this point. The two superstars were split up again as they'd engaged in combat once more, with Seth telling Jey, who was on the rampway, to run along to Roman. Zayn, still in the ring, told Seth he doesn't get to speak to Jey that way. Seth apologised, saying that Jey's family, but what's your excuse? Seth has certainly got it in him tonight. Seth said that he and Sami are family, but Zayn stabbed him in the back when he teamed with Reigns. Zayn replied by saying he didn't want to team with Punk and that he wanted Rollins, reminding Seth he asked him twice, then claimed he didn't join them because he's too stubborn. Seth said he wasn't going to help that monster, Roman Reigns. Zayn hit back by saying Seth created that monster when he put a chair in Roman's back 10 years ago. WWE playing the long game here. I mean, they're still playing the Steph married Triple H thing.
Yeah.
Seth says he's atoned for that and then told Sami that he's done the same thing, hitting Roman with a chair, that is. Seth ended by saying Roman hasn't apologised to anyone for how he is and that Sami is stupid. Sami told Seth he clearly needed to blow some steam off, so proposed a match for later. Seth agreed. 25 minutes that segment ran for. They've clearly got some time on the hands. After all that, and you're still here, please give us a subscribe, as it will help us in the long run to hopefully grow into something a little bigger than we are now. Thank you.
We then see a clip of Damian Priest attacking Finn Balor backstage after Survivor Series. But JD McDonough and Carlito jumped in with the Judgement Day members rounding on Priest and getting the better of him. We then go to Judgement Day's Den live, with Liv saying, "I thought you agreed that you were going to stay away from Damian." "I would have," said Balor, but Dom didn't handle it. He then told Liv she's got to worry about Io Sky and that when everyone listens to Finn, the Judgment Day win. Balor then walked off, with Liv asking Dom to keep an eye on him.
So, first match of the night, Io Sky and Kairi Sane against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Rodriguez battered Sane in the opening exchange, tagging in Morgan and then powerbombing Morgan onto a floored Sane, with Morgan going for the pin. Sane kicking out. Sane then managed to bring in Sky, who got the better of Liv and Rodriguez by knocking her off the apron and then going back to Morgan. Liv then dodged a move by Sky, tagging in Rodriguez once again, but Sky tagged Sane just before she missile drop kicked Rodriguez from the top rope, with Sane then dropping an insane elbow and covering Rodriguez. Morgan just made the save on two. Just. Liv was then thrown out of the ring by Sky, who followed her with a dive out of the ring. Back in the ring, we see Sane eating a big boot from Rodriguez and then Tajina bombed. Raquel then covers Sane for 3, picking up the win for her team. Sky gets back in the ring with Morgan and Rodriguez beating her up, but Rhea Ripley heads out for the save. Rodriguez escapes a riptide, but gets clotheslined over the top rope anyway and smashed into the announcer's table multiple times. Morgan jumps on Rhea's back, but then Rodriguez throws Rhea into the corner of the announcer's table. Eye first, apparently, naturally causing more damage to Rhea's orbital bone. So she's probably getting Christmas off as well.
She'll be off with Randy. Backstage, we have Kathy Kelly and Gunther, but before he has a chance to speak, Balor rolls up saying he thinks Gunther owes him a title match. Dom is alongside. Gunther replied by saying he doesn't owe him anything and that he needed to win by himself, which Balor took away from him. Gunther then said he's got some leverage around here and went to see Adam Pearce, seemingly to make a match between himself and Dom, because as Gunther said, Dom's scored a victory over the Priest, unlike Balor.
Now we have a first round triple threat match in the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship Tournament. Dakota Kai versus Shayna Baszler versus Katana Chance. Baszler dominated to begin with, but back from the break we see a pin attempt by Kai on Baszler for 2. Chance then goes for a cover on Baszler after hitting a hurricanrana on Kai from the top rope, with Kai landing on Baszler. Baszler kicks out on 2. Chance then covers Kai, but again only for 2. It gets a bit messy with a few moves late, sloppy, but we end up with Baszler kneeing Kai and covering for yet another 2 count. Baszler then locks in the Kirifuda clutch on Kai as Chance launches a 450 splash off the top rope. Kai escapes the clutch with Chance landing on Baszler. Kai then gets up, landing a kick on Chance from a fireman's carry and then pins her for the 1-2-3. Dakota Kai advancing to the next round.
Now it's time for the 10-year anniversary of the New Day. Woods thanks the crowd, as does Kofi. Just as they seem to be teasing a split up though, unsurprisingly to anyone, Big E walks out.
Oh, did he? Oh, who'd have thunk it?
E reminds them that what they have built means a lot to a lot of people, and is going to be their managers until he's medically cleared. Woods and Kingston then both said that E left them, with Kofi saying, "Yeah, you broke your neck. So what? Stone Cold Steve Austin broke his neck, but he came back."
A bit harsh, isn't it?
Kofi said you didn't need surgery on your neck. You couldn't come back sooner. E said that he'd been meeting with doctors, having scans, etc, etc. Woods said they'd heard it all before, with Kofi adding that if he cared, he'd have been by their side, but he chose his new desk job over them. Woods said that E had become a burden, with Kofi saying that he chose himself over the New Day. Woods finished off by saying that we need to stop teasing to all the people and tell them the truth. E, you will never be medically cleared. Get out of the ring, back to your desk. We'll call you if we need you. E, clearly upset, not wanting to let go, he approached the two, but Kofi pushed him away. E left the ring with Woods and Kingston saying to each other, "It's just us."
I mean, I hope it's not the end of Big E.
Yeah, me too.
It'll be a shame if it is, certainly to go out that way. We aren't the type to go digging around on the net looking for rumours of whether it is the end or not, because surely it would come from E himself if it was over, and not some wrestling news trash who think they know what's happening looking for a few quick clicks.
Next we see Karrion Kross reflecting on Nikki Cross's attacking Scarlett, saying that they used her to get to him. Kross then calls them out for next week, adding that they started this fire and he's going to make sure they burn in it.
Next up, Dominik Mysterio versus Gunther. Gunther patted Dom on the head in a very patronising way, following it up with a big boot, knocking Dom to the outside. 2 dives through the rope later from Dom though, after he'd reversed Gunther, saw his head to the break. When we come back, we see Mysterio locked in a Boston Crab and grabbing the rope. After an exchange of chops and slams, Gunther locks in a sleeper, but Dom low blows the champion with his leg, the ref, of course, not seeing it. We then get 2 619s, a drop kick and a frog splash. Gunther just kicks out on 2. Chops, kicks and a massive powerbomb bring Dom back down to earth, with Gunther following up with a cover and pinning the son of the legend that is Rey Mysterio for the win. After the match, Balor attacks Gunther with a sling blade, shotgun drop kick and then a coup de grace, before saying to Dom, "Watch and learn, kid." Balor then drops 2 more coup de grace on the champ, with the crowd chanting "one more time" as Finn exits up the rampway. I wonder if that's the next opponent for Gunther.
Backstage we have Butch telling R-Truth down the camera that tonight it's Pete Dunne versus R-Truth. And then we see Adam Pearce and crew running behind Dunne with the caravan following. When we catch up, we find that Jey Uso has been attacked, but we don't know by who.
Back from the break, we have R-Truth against Pete Dunne, with Pete the Butch Dunne taking it to Truth and the crowd chanting "Butch." As Dunne confronts the crowd, Truth rolls up Dunne from behind and gets the cover.
Nice one.
Good for Truth.
Backstage, we had Kathy Kelly speaking with Bron Breakker. She tells him that Sheamus sustained a cracked rib and that was your greatest challenge yet.
So he's out for Christmas as well.
They're all having a bit of time off. But before Bron could properly answer, Ludwig Kaiser appeared. After some waffle by Kaiser, he said he's going to bring the Intercontinental title back to the Imperium. Bron asked if that was a challenge and that he'll talk to Adam Pearce. Bron finished by telling Kaiser to get out from under Gunther's shadow as his stock is...
We then find out about a few matches made for next week, with the standout one being the White Six versus the Final Testament and The Miz. So they're not saving that for a PLE then?
No, just giving it to us. Backstage again with Adam Pearce when he's asked by Sami Zayn what happened to Jey. Pearce doesn't know what happened or who did it. Zayn says he knows exactly who did it and he's about to deal with him in the ring. I don't think it's Seth, to be honest.
No, me neither. Last match of the night, Sami Zayn versus Seth freaking Rollins. We lock up straight away with Seth getting the upper hand. Zayn then throws Seth out of the ring and we head to a break. We come back and we're in the ring with Sami on top, clubbing Seth with mounted punches and then Blue the Thunder bombing him with Seth kicking out on two. We then get an exploder by Zayn who then lines up a haluva kick. Seth meets him halfway across the ring with a super kick, goes for a stomp but Zayn rolls out the ring to the floor. Seth leaves the ring telling Sami his fights with Punk before Sami slaps Seth saying, "I know it was you," referring to Jey being attacked. Seth throws Sami into the ring steps, the ring post and then over the timekeeper's barrier. Sami kicks Seth and then sends him into the ring post with Seth escaping back into the ring.
Sami's about to follow but decides to retrieve a chair and enter the ring armed. Sami again accuses Seth of attacking Jey, with Seth on the mat. Seth said it wasn't him, he wouldn't do that. Go and ask your buddy Punk. I don't think it was him either. Sami, conflicted, ditches a chair over the rope and heads back over to Seth. Seth, quick as a hiccup, grabs Zayn's shoulder and leg, rolls him up and scores the victory. Seth approaches Sami after the bout and tells him that he loves his heart but he's got to start using his head and that he didn't attack Jey. Seth leaves and as he does, a hooded figure enters the ring and attacks Zayn, revealing himself to be Drew McIntyre. The attack, of course, was a claymore. Raw goes off air with Drew standing over Zayn, looking mean and very moody.
Do I think he attacked Jey? Maybe, but why? Because he teamed with Punk, and now he's taken out Zayn for the same reason. I mean, who's next? Big Jim? And is he going to pick off each man that teamed with Punk? Reigns, watch your back. Love it, but I don't want a Sami Drew feud.
No, I'm not too bothered about that.
I want more Drew Punk.
You loved that, didn't you?
I mean, come on, Drew's got to come on. He said he's going to kill him.
Yeah.
Surely he's back for revenge. He's not just going to come back and be like, you know what, Punk? Yeah, I'm done with you. You beat me up. You busted me open. I'm just going to leave it. No, surely he's got to come back for Punk. Surely.
It's got to be. Any comments or views you'd like to share, then please feel free to leave them in the comment section below.
And once again, thank you for watching.
And we'll see you Saturday for SmackDown.